Hello everyone, very good morning and good evening. Parminder here. Welcome to our success story sessions. Welcome to Game of High Flyers. And in today's Game of High Flyer, I have with me Sauvik. So before I ask Sauvik to speak, let me give you a brief introduction about Sauvik. So Sauvik basically has done MBA and he has a very good, very in-depth experience into the logistics operations, into the manufacturing industry. So he worked around 6 years into the logistics and manufacturing industry and got a very depth of logistics and operations experience. So during his path of operations, when he was gaining the operations experience, he came across through the SAP, he got interested, and 2013 itself, he started learning SAP. So he first started learning the basics module, SD, and started giving the interviews. And then, but he was continuing with the logistics operation experience. In between, he also got some SAP exposure to get work with the companies who already have SAP. So he enhanced their knowledge there. And then he associated with Sastrageek solution last year itself, 2021, where basically he wants to jump to get a very good package and to start the SAP career streamline. He understood that only the basic modules will not work. He need to also get some advanced modules. So he took a self-paced SAP TM training with us, transportation management. And recently he has joined a consulting company. So finally he was able to, after so many years of hard work, he was able to join a consulting company as a SAP TM and SD consultant. So that's a brief story about Sauvik. So with that information, I would like to welcome Sauvik on the show. Hey, hi Sauvik. Welcome to the Game of High Flyers.
Hey, Parminder. Hi everyone. It's a pretty exciting, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience throughout my what I have been into this whole SAP journey. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So Sauvik, I have told about audience briefly about you, but we would like to hear your story from your mouth because you have spent so many years learning SAP. You might have done one training with us, but you might have done a lot of things during this, a lot of struggle, a lot of learning. So that all things, if you can let the audience know, so that people can think about if they also want to start, what kind of preparation it requires. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos.
Certainly, Parminder. For me, I would say when I started long back in 2012, and I was merely as a fresher, but since I had the managerial skills developed already due to the MBA course that I have pursued, so I started purely as a operations manager, and in my entire 6 years of my career in the manufacturing industry, I have gained a lot of experience. I have been exposed to a lot of challenges, and within that that period of time, I have gained a lot of new skills, mostly into SAP. And I developed that interest within me. It was not like that someone has told me to develop the interest. It was not on a pressure. It was a very natural thing that I adopted that interest into SAP, and I invested so much of time, so much of efforts in learning SAP, because it was all over new subject for me, and it is something of a IT application which I had to understand for the first time during my experience. But gradually I dig deep. I developed uh, the interest in increasing my knowledge. And from 2013, I started giving a lot of interviews in reputed MNCs for applying different posts in consulting, SAP consulting in SAP SD mostly. But I was not getting through. That was my first hurdle in that point of time, that in throughout 2013, 14, 15, I was keep giving on interviews. But the only thing is that somewhere there was a gap, like due to uh, the practical experience which I was not having, although I had the knowledge to share on cracking the SAP questions. But uh, there was a gap, because at that point of time I was having experience only in the operations part. So it was mainly into business and business processes, but about the SAP configurations, about how to implement or support. So those knowledge, those practical experience was lacking at that time. But I had knowledge, I had the answers ready for the questions, but I was not able to get through. So that was the main challenge I was facing. But slowly and steadily, in my, I would say, entire 9 years of experience, and recently, since I've got through, I cracked through uh, the SAP module as a consultant, like Parminder has explained. So uh, so that was the big break for me, because previously I was also into consulting roles, but not entirely into the module that I am now. But I was working in different modules throughout the business process, throughout the different projects I was working in my previous companies. So with course of time, with this long period, I developed the interest. I studied. One book I would always recommend to everyone for SAP SD, please go through Glency Williams. It was a Bible for me, and I would also suggest the aspirants to read through it. At times, it will be a pretty boring. It will be like too much of jargons you may experience, but it's better that you have the patience to go through and complete each and every chapters, make some notes of it. Coming into 2021, when I started with the self-paced learning with Sastrageek, I would also like to tell that it's not like I did uh, went through all the course that was offered by Sastrageek. I was also learning through from a local institute. I got the hands-on experience in the TM model, and previously I though also worked. I had the fundamentals cleared, but some hands-on was required to know the configuration, the challenges, the kind of issues that can happen in that module.
Mhm.
And I had this hands-on experience. And one very good thing about Sastrageek is that they offered that complimentary 3 months of server to practice some basic cycles on TM or SD or anything. So I would also suggest that make best use of this server, because it will help to understand the different cycles. If you're getting stuck or something, then we'll be able to know and we'll be able to troubleshoot that problem, and we can do run the cycles again. And once you run the cycles 2 or 3 4 times, you get so much of confidence inside you that given any interviews, given any technical questions that are being asked, you will be able to relate like what kind of issues I have faced during that troubleshooting inside that server, and answering those questions and getting cracked through interview. That's the only way.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Savik, for sharing it. I have noted down 2 3 points which I would again highlight it for the audience. First thing is that developing an interest. So if you get developed interest towards SAP, towards ERP, that will help you to keep on learning. I can correlate a lot of things from Sauvik, which I have done 15 years back. I have also done 4 years of operations journey where basically parallelly I developed the interest in SAP and I was learning for 4 years SAP, different institutes, different courses I have done before I started my consulting career. And all of these things happen. It's not like कि हाँ भाई मेरे को SAP में job करना है. I need to get the job there. I need to learn a lot. Apart from that, developing interest is very important. Once you develop your interest, then the self motivation came, and that self motivation can keep you on the path. Maybe it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. You will reach your goal. That's what Sovik has done. That's great, amazing. Second thing I have noticed is Glency William. Glency William is a very good book. Even when we were starting few years back with our course of SAP Sales Mastery, I remember that discussion. We had a long workshop with our SD consultant, Mr. Rudra Pal, and he is also a fan of Glency William. So we was thinking that, okay, Rudra, how to prepare the curriculum for SD? He was having one answer, boss, I will follow the Glency William. This is the best. If somebody wants to start the career in SAP SD, that is the best structure we have. And he followed the Glency William, and our SD mastery course actually we built from the Glency William structure itself. It's all the videos and experience which Rudra takes off, but the basic core structure came from the Glency William. That also I would like to mention. So that's a very good book for the SD aspirants to go through it. Third thing which has been highlighted very beautifully from Sauvik is hands-on. Hands-on is very, very important. So during our TM also has gone through almost 3 to 4 life cycles, our TM course. So we also understand that without doing a hands-on, maybe with the theoretical knowledge, cracking an interview is not easy. So the latest volume of TM which we have brought, the curriculum remains same, but we have added on top of it, we have added 40 assignments. With the system now, 40 assignments has also been added. For each of the video, follow at least 3 to 4 assignments, where basically you need to follow the assignments. And same thing, you need to do hands-on in the system. And we are pushing a lot people to complete those assignments because as Sauvik said, and we also have experience, without doing a system hands-on, you would, even though I have seen that maybe some people would be able to crack the interview, they went into the job, but then they will come back to us, can you give us the on job support for 3 years, 3 months, 4 months, because they are not confident, because they have not done the things on system. So that doing the things in system is very important. That's where we have also prepared a dedicated server, and it takes a lot of hard efforts to make that server in shape, because a lot of some people come and do some configuration here and there. So we are making sure that system is in a decent shape where basically you would be able to run your scenarios. So yes, I just want to highlight few things which Sauvik has said. So Sauvik, one of my question is that after once you were doing SAP SD, maybe you also did a little bit of MM. At what point you think now I need to switch to TM? What was that transition phase and what make you start learning SAP TM?
Um, TM is very close to me because since me myself being from operations and logistics transportation background, so I'm able to relate the business process or the business flows which runs in
Mhm.
TM, and that exact business flow is also mapped in
Mhm.
the entire design of the TM, all the transactions and all the screens, that I can relate with the exact business process flow that happens in any industry. So this is also a part of my interest, that I went to this particular module and make this transition, because it's something that I will be able to relate to from my experience, and I will also understand better than any other consultants.
Right.
That's a unique thing from my end, that I can give better solutions. I can do certain enhancements. I can give better solutions to my clients, customers,
Mhm.
because I know what kind of situations, what kind of challenges may arise and how to resolve that.
Mhm. Right, got it. So, Savik, so first you have learned the basics, you have learned SD, and then you move to TM. So let's say if you have a transportation operation experience, what do you feel that would you be able to directly learn SAP TM? Would it be good to directly learn SAP TM? Or what do you think that the path you have chosen has helped you?
See, transportation operation experience is one part, and getting the understanding of the entire flow of how the TM works, because TM is also very new in the SAP package, and it's
Mhm.
continuously evolving,
Mhm.
and the future is now going into cloud.
Mhm.
So this is also in a very nascent phase, I would say, and there are constant enhancements and changes going on in this platform. So the person needs to also think in that way, that I have to be flexible in terms of learning TM, because it is constantly changing, and the versions are getting changed. Like previously it was like 9.5, 9.6, and now it has gone to HANA.
Mhm.
So it is more becoming centralized, and now it will shift to cloud. So that amount of mm, understanding is also required in this system changes and adopting to the changes. So transport operation experience is one part, I would say, that able to relate all the
Mhm.
terminologies, and to introduce oneself about the jargons in the business, in the transportation industry. That is one part. The second part is you have to know um, that transport operations experience also helps in understanding those terms and relate with the entire process of this SAP TM module.
Right, right. So a lot of people also come to me. They said, "Boss, I have transportation, a little bit of experience," or somebody has told them, "Ki TM is the module which you need to go through. The packages are very high, opportunities are very high. People come that, okay, I want to learn SAP TM." What I suggest them, boss, go with the basic training of SD first. The same thing we are even doing for the corporates also when they are hiring freshers and then they want to get them trained into the TM. First, we are giving them the basic training of SD, and then we are taking them to the TM. Even though the people have transportation knowledge, but I felt that it's very important because you want to learn end to end, and TM sometimes would be a little bit very advanced. Without knowing the basic cycles of SD, straight away jumping into the TM would not be a good thing. That's what we are suggesting to our students. Do a basics of SD first, and then jump into TM. So that's what you guys have also seen with Sauvik. What he has done, he has prepared a very good platform, a basic platform, and then on top of it he has put the garnishing of SAP TM, which helped him to get into the SAP consulting job. So that's good. So one more question: how you have prepared for the interviews, especially when you have learned SAP TM? Post that, how you prepared yourself for interviews, and what kind of changes you have made in your CV, which ends up giving you interview calls.
One point I would like to like just for a suggestion, I would say that whatever we do, whatever we work, let's be very honest on the paper itself in the CV. If you have done functional, please write functional experience. Whatever you have done, it could be a list of 2 points, it could be a list of 10 points, but whatever we have done, in my case, honestly, I have put everything on the paper itself. I have mentioned those experiences, whether it's a functional in SD, functional in MM, or hands-on in TM. So I mentioned each and every points, and those keywords get selected when the scrutiny starts from a interview aspect. And during the interview, the questions will be not like technical questions will always come up. In my previous experiences, when I was not getting through the interviews, there were technical questions, but it is not necessary that you will also get technical questions during the interview. It could be situation based, it could be questions based on scenarios, like if something happens like this, what you will do and how you will resolve those issues. So it is more like scenario situation based, not entirely that you have to tell, no, in the master data I have to maintain the location types or maintain the zones, transportation zones, or any pricing conditions I have to fix. No, not like that. Now the interview questions and interview ways of interviews are also changing. They're more keen into uh, get a holistic approach and to understand that whether the candidate has the in-depth understanding of a particular subject. So they will now put into situations, they will put into some scenarios, and you have to give them a clear-cut idea and most relevant answer. I think that would attract the interviewer
Mhm.
to select that candidate. In my case, this happened, I would say.
Right, right. So that's what we have also I have also seen. Nowadays, it's not only about the solution. They ask you the problem, they will put you into this situation. It's not only about the right solution because in SAP, there can be not a one right solution. You can see that going to the three implementations, same business scenario, three different solution has been put it for that. So the final and the right solution is not that important, but your approach to reach to a solution, how you explain that with your knowledge, what kind of things you will propose, what kind of cross questioning you will ask your client, what you will ask them more to provide information, and then how you will approach to the student to the solution, or how you approach to the problem is also very important. So that's a lot of interviews they try to check, not only the final solution, but how maybe you don't know all the things, but with your knowledge, how you are trying to approach towards the solution. So that's also important. So, Sauvik, do you remember any of the few questions, situation-based questions, which has been asked for the SAP TM technical interviews that I think would a little bit help the audience?
I was mostly asked into what I have done in my previous organization, and what kind of solution I brought into during those problems. So let's say
Mhm.
there was one question in an ocean scenario, like uh, mm, uh, what kind of incoterms, or what kind of stages uh, that are there in the TM perspective.
Mhm.
So they're like, we all know that there are three stages: pre-stage, main, and onward. So in those three stages, like, there is any implication of incoterm, and that is like more of a business kind of question, but you also need to have that understanding, like what the recruiter is expecting from you. Like, do I need to maintain the incoterm for those stages or not, or any default incoterm is applicable for those three main stages to get completed by a carrier for transporting from one product from one point to another. So this is one of the questions. And any sort of those specific master data questions, like
Mhm.
how you maintain the plants, and how you maintain any vendor master data, material master data. So these are all like something which you can show in the system, or you can tell using whatever knowledge you have in general terms. Like, it's not possible to whatever you're doing on the system gets totally being verbally articulated during the interview, but you can say like, yes, for a vendor master data, I have to uh, go into the uh, SPRO. uh, in XK03 you can maintain the you can check the vendor master. In XK02 you can maintain the master data for the vendor, and you have to give certain data there, account groups, all these things you have to maintain, vendor details, addresses, everything. So these are like some of the general questions, and some like situational, like I've already told. In case of let's say mm, any there's a breakdown in a vehicle. So what kind of any system changes we have to do if there is a requirement of transshipping a certain product from one vehicle to another. So we have to create transshipment locations. If
Mhm.
for a paperwork, if it is an overseas scenario, do we need to create any paperwork? Of course we need to create a paperwork. For that there is a system called customs clearance paper, and that is also a part of GTS, which is also a part of TM. You have to also update the event management, which is EWM, which is also being integrated with TM. So TM is certainly a standalone system, but interconnected and being triggered by different systems. Can be from ECC, can be from EWM, can be from GTS. So uh, it's a network. The entire thing is a network, and TM is there to process the data only when some data is being put into the system. Mostly it starts with the ECC, but it is also connected with EWM, and also it has some data exchange with the GTS as well.
Mhm.
So
Right.
we have to explain this way shortly. It should be short and crisp, but the recruiter would understand that this guy knows, like, there's a proper integration, which with which system there is an integration being set up with the TM. And you have to explain, like, go deep. And if there is a requirement to go deep, you please go deep. If it is not required, then just give a general outline.
Mm. So let me highlight one thing. The Sauvik was explaining those questions, and he was also so those questions he has answered it also, right? So that's how he got selected into the interviews. But one thing is important here. Important is that how depth he has gone. Okay, he has gone into the depth and one course searching on the Google, another course he has spread his arms and collected knowledge on, from a lot of places. And it's not necessary that during his previous experience he has worked on those systems, he has worked on GTS or he has worked on EWM. But with his exploration, he found the integrations, that how it integrates and how it works with each other by exploring. So it's not necessary that you have worked on each and everything, but if you can explain the basic integrations, how the basic stuff can works based on your knowledge, and the 70% good hands-on onto the basic part on your core skills of TM and on a core skill of SD you have, that will help you a lot, not only in the interviews, even in the projects also. This information which Sauvik is sharing, if he is consulting one of his client, those kind of questions will definitely come, and with his exploration into the depth of these things, he would definitely would be do a great job. That's, I'm sure about it. Any company would love to have you, Sauvik.
Thank you, Parminder.
Yeah, sure. So one more thing I want to, okay, you have told a lot. I think a lot of advices has been given to aspirants. So what is your next game plan? Do you have any future plan that how you need to move ahead next in your career path? Maybe I'm not asking today, next 2 3 years, where do you want to focus and how do you want to go ahead?
Parminder, as of now, I'm mostly satisfied with what I'm doing, and
Okay.
I will keep on learning. I'm also very much looking forward to get more certifications,
Okay.
which I'm presently going through some trainings and studying also for
Mhm.
that whenever I get time. I'm looking forward to those certifications, and I would like to grow first in this module. And mm, yes, if I get a fair amount of opportunity, I would definitely explore in the upcoming years. If I would like to stay, I would stay in this model. If I would like to uh, think of any future course of action of changing to a different module, I would also look into that. But yeah, for now, it's mostly I'm investing time and efforts in doing the certifications, and I have a target of like each year I will do this number of certifications uh, uh,
That's great. That's great,
gradually.
Souvik.
Yeah, I will do
Great,
that.
great to
Yeah.
know that you have a thing that you need to keep on progressing. You need to keep on learning. So you're working on certification. I always recommend people go with the certification. That's going to help. The another thing which I can tell you, the things which I would suggest by seeing your experience, you gain some basic knowledge on SDMM. Now you have a knowledge of TM. So what are the things I'm telling you now? It's not for today. It's for the next 2 to 3 years, which you can follow. Okay, so now the TM is a part of the logistics. Okay, I would say that if you can gain a knowledge and on EWM, because a lot of things will get integrated between EWM and TM, the paths will cross. SD cross path with the TM, cross path with TM. I think those things you would be confident enough. Now, a lot of things the EWM would also be crossing their path with TM. And this comes the TM and EWM, we put it into a one bucket of logistics executions. Basically, the warehouse management also you need to do, and then shipping from the warehouses also need to do. So a lot of integration will come. So there are very few consultants available who are very strong, who have a basics of SD and very strong in both module TM and EWM. There are a lot of requirements come. We call them as a logistics solution architects. Okay, there are very few people available. Even I have worked into the few projects. I have not got any single candidate who can be a very strong, going to the client, suggesting them, okay, what they need to do in TM, what they need to do into the warehouse management, EWM, suggesting them full part of the logistics. So you have all of those capabilities to become a solution, logistics solution architect. So to that, not now, but maybe 1 year you complete spend on the TM, you got the job, 1 to 1.5 year, go in depth of the TM, focus on that, right approach. But after 1.5 year, you should start look towards the EWM. When I say that look towards the EWM, it's not a switch from TM to EWM. Okay, it's not a switch from TM to EWM. You learn the in-depth of the EWM, the configuration and other things, and then try to work on a project where the EWM is also there. So you would be able to check your hands-on and the theoretical knowledge that whether how it things happen in EWM. Then in between, try to do a EWM project. One single EWM project would be enough for you, even it's a support project. Then down the line 3 years you would be reaching to the path where you have an in-depth knowledge of TM, you know in-depth knowledge of EWM, and you also know all the integration points. Then you can work as a solution architect in any company for logistics, and your package will go haywire. If you apply in Canada, Australia, overseas, anywhere you will apply with that knowledge, that profile. If you have aspirant, if you want to go and work there with the very high packages, would all be possible. So that's what I would suggest you, that how from now to next 2 to 3 years, you can grow up as a solution architect with logistics by learning EWM also. That's what I would recommend to you. Okay.
Thanks, Gurminder, for the advice. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's a very good interview with you, Sauvik. I'm really thankful to you. You came up and your guidance and the things which you have spoke. I think it would going to help a lot of people, especially the people who are looking for TM, who want to switch their career from SD to TM. They would be looking forward to this interview, and this suggestion is going to definitely help the people. So with that, I would say that I would thank you to coming up here, and keep in touch,
Sure.
and let us know your progress. I would love to do one more success story for you as a logistics architect in 2 years.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So this is from the today's success story. This is the today's game of high flyers with Sauvik. So we will be coming up with the next story very soon. Till that time, goodbye and bye bye.